And it's McLaren.
Radio check.
Good evening, welcome, here we go. It's a new season here at NOMEX Racing. New tracks, new calendar, new drivers, and of course, new teammates. But unfortunately for you guys, same old commentator. Yes, I'm here once again. And Las Vegas, we're starting at tonight. Not a track we see very often, but a track that I'm looking forward to seeing tonight, that's for sure. Just go over a couple of, let's call them administrative announcements for the new season, shall we? Firstly, we'll just go over the point system for the weekend league, and it's going to be as such. Let me just there we go. So for weekend races, we're not going with the traditional Formula 1 point system. We're going to go with 32 points for the winner, 26 for second place, 24 for third, 22 for fourth, 20th for fifth, 18 points for sixth, 16 points for seventh, 14 points for eighth, 12 points for ninth, 10 points for 10th, and then all the way down to 19th, a point less each time, and only 20th will not score points. We also have an extra point on offer this season for pole position, which encourages people in qualifying to give it everything, because those little points could make the big difference. Also, AI is a no-no. Unless you can prove that it was a disconnect, you are not allowed AI under formation laps, safety cars, or of course during the race or pit stop. And also in qualifying, of course, as well. No AI is allowed. It will be an automatic 10-second penalty at the end of each race. So there's just a couple of rules for you there. Top 3 predictions evening, Lewis, by the way. It's nice to have you in. It's nice to see you. It's a new season. We'll have to see. It's going to be a close one tonight. Las Vegas, I'll get into it. It's not the grippiest of tracks. It's quite easy to put into a wall. So it's going to take a lot of concentration. It's going to take a lot of luck as well. Unlike other street circuits, the massive straight there at Las Vegas allows for plenty of overtaking. I think part of the problem here at Las Vegas, I will get into the top 3, by the way, shortly. I'll just let you know. I think part of the problem here at Vegas is that because of the long straight, you have to run really low downforce. Otherwise, you lose too much time on that straight. But there are some quite technical parts to the track which mean that having low downforce is not beneficial at all. Which then, of course, makes it easier to put into a wall, to make a mistake, not have the right, correct grip. So with that being said, I think my top 3 tonight are going to be, I think Gasly in the Aston Martin is going to win the race. I think Paddy is going to finish second in the RB, and who's going to finish third? That is the question. I think Tim will finish third. I'll put that as a top 3. Although my top 3 predictions have been pretty awful, something always happens. We're going to go quickly through the teams, by the way, that we've got this season. We've got Ice One and F1 Immortal are going to be in the Mercedes, as far as I'm aware. King Fi and Tim in the Red Bulls. That's a very, very strong team. Not that any of the teams are weak, but that is just a particularly strong one there. Emmerich and Ace in the Ferraris. Josh and David Craig in the McLarens. Lewis and Gasly in the Aston Martins. They're a team definitely to look out for this season. I think they're going to be real contenders for the constructors. And individually, I think you have to look out for both of those guys for the drivers' title too. Verpe and Daddy Cool are going to be in the great-looking Saubers. Last year's People's Champion Paddy and Govey are going to be in the RBs. In the Alpines, we have Ben and Pastuzo. In the Williams, we've got Broke Gorilla and Raf. And last but not least, we've got Panda Man Gaming and my main man Fishy Flopper in the Haas. So full teams this season. And we're just running slightly late. We just had to redo the lobby. Not an issue with anyone individually. But the race will be underway shortly. Well, qualifying first. And we'll see. I think it's always important to get off to a good start in any season. But I think it's maybe even more important just to finish the race, just to give yourself a bit of confidence and get some sort of points on the board. Finish the race, and it gives you good momentum going into the season. Hello there, Dr. Comic, with the L in the chat, and another L. Everybody just readying up right now. I think there's still a couple more to come in. Might just be a couple of latecomers. People do have prior engagements. Yeah, for example, Raf's not in. People are getting a little bit impatient, ready to go. I can understand that. There's been a week off, and we're all ready to start the season. Hugely anticipated season coming up. Got a great calendar for you too. I'll get that up for you right now, actually. So we've got Las Vegas, followed by Portugal, followed by Zandvoort, then Baku, then I can't remember what round 5 is. That's my bad. I think it's I've drawn a blank for round 5. I memorised the calendar, and I've forgotten again what round 5 was. Is it the Yas Marina? Could be. We've got Miami, then Saudi Arabia, then Spain, Austria, and we're going into qualifying. I'll carry on with the calendar in a sec. We're just starting now. Just getting into the lobby, into the actual game now. It's one of the best tracks for views is Las Vegas. Obviously, you've got the view of the Strip, and I think they've represented it quite well in the game, to be fair. I'm quite critical of Codemasters and EA, and normally with good reason, but they've made this track look very nice. As you can see on the bottom right hand of your screen, I always think that Las Vegas looks like an upside down pig. I don't know what, so you've got the hooves at the top, and then yeah, it just to me has always looked like an upside down pig. So we've got a Sauber coming out early. That's Verpe going to be first out. I'll just sort my audio levels out a little bit. There we go. Have a nice look at the surroundings while Verpe's on his outlap. Very much a money Grand Prix in real life, has to be said. It's not really an ideal racing circuit. And I'm not the biggest fan of street circuits. I'm quite old school in that respect. I do prefer a traditional race circuit. But this is it's not too bad, it's alright, it's very good on the game. There's a lot of action. So there we go then. You'll see this is the big straight. He's weaving, obviously warming his tyres up Verpe here, but you can just see how long that straight is, plus DRS in the second half of it. As my cats are fighting for some reason. Yes, and we've got 2 DRS zones, and both of them are really good for overtaking. Just about to come around the final corner here. It's a short left-hander. There we go. Starting the first pass lap of the season. A long left hairpin. Just got to be careful of traffic here. Yep. Here's the first DRS zone. Coming towards the edge of sector 1 here. Very hard on the brakes. Quite high tyre degradation here at Las Vegas too. Here's the very technical twisty sector. As you can see, struggling to keep the car underneath him a little bit. And we'll see here, this left-hander, you have to get the braking zone right. Can end up in a wall there. It's very, very risky. But Verpe's got around this quite nicely. Into sector 3, DRS will be enabled any time now. There you go. And then you've got the chicane. Nicely through there. And back round to the start really. Just the left-hander to go. So the first lap of the season is a 1:31.4, straight down to Fishy Flopper here, who currently in sector 3. It's a 1:31.4, as I say, currently the time to beat. That's going to be a 1:32.1, a fairly long lap around here. Let's check out Lewis, shall we, who's in sector 2 at the minute. Yet to turn into the long straight. There you go, an adjustment there. We'll get quite a decent tow down the straight by the looks of things. Yep, the Alpine's just moving across. I assume that's Ben there in the Alpine. Got to cut as much as you can from that chicane, and he has. 1:32.5 for King Panda. And that's a 1:31.7 for Lewis. And Ben with a 1:42.3. Let's see where Tim is. Tim's just come out on his outlap, so we'll go down to Reese in the Ferrari, who's actually invalidated. So let's go to Gagley in sector 1, and oh, and a big incident there. Oh no, between the Alpine and Gagley. That's quite luckily there. Nobody has DNF'd, but that's Gagley going to have to come back into the pits. Probably going to have to change his wing there. I'd be very surprised if he's not carrying damage. It's quite a hard hit between himself and what looked like the Alpine. He's not going to be very happy at that. Let's go to Tim here. He's just starting Sector 3 of his outlap. Last season's champion, of course. Which is why we want to see his qualifying lap, see how he does. Verpe still with that 1:31.4, holding on to provisional pole position. As I mentioned, extra important this season because we have an extra point for the pole sitter. Paddy putting a 1:32.6. Ace putting a 1:34.7. So very varied on the times. It's definitely a track where we can see a lot of varied times, and it only takes one little error and your lap ruined, really. It being such a tight circuit too, just a kiss on the wall could be crucial. So here we go. That's nice. Reese with a 1:31.1 puts it provisionally on pole. Who else has just put a lap in there? Josh with a 1:31.9. That's good enough for fourth right now. I think Tim went purple in Sector 1. Not in Sector 2 though. I think the vary in times will depend, of course, on how much downforce you're willing to sacrifice for that straight. But there we go, a 1:31.143, just enough for provisional pole there from Tim. A good lap, to be fair. We've got, let's see, on an outlap. There's Craig, who's quite early in the lap. Ice One has literally just started his first fast lap of the season. Good friend of mine, I consider Ice One. Known him a while now. Really nice guy. A very good driver too. In the Mercedes this year. Not great through the chicane. Just does take some warming up here at Las Vegas. As you've seen from some of the times that we've had. Very difficult. So 56.6 through 2 sectors, but now he's got the fast sectors here. Obviously, he's got the straight here, and then he's after the chicanes. You're full sending it until the start-finish line. That was very nice through there, through the chicanes. I think unfortunately those early chicanes are going to cost him. That's going to be a 1:32.6, that's 9th position. Definitely got more in the bag. And I thought I saw, yeah, there's Ace. Struggling there. Lack of grip. Gagley again. Let's try this again. Round 2. We'll have repaired any damage. Ready to go. And that's a purple sector 1 from Gagley. Starting the season off really hot. Oh, and that's just took a bit too much curb there and had to adjust, as you saw. He's going to have to put a lap in here just to get one under his belt, otherwise there's a lot of pressure on his last run. There will be time for another run after this one. Not too close to the wall there. Could probably go a bit closer. Purple sector 2, so has picked it up here. Looking very good. Slight error, as I mentioned, through the chicane, but not cost him any time. Maxing the car out there. This looks to be a quick lap. It's a 1:31.4, which is second row of the grid. Third place. Got a time for another run though. We'll get back in and get back out again. So Berkeley has invalidated. See Lewis just on an outlap. We'll go with Josh, shall we? We'll follow Josh round through his the rest of the outlap, and of course his fast lap. He's just trying to make a bit of space between himself and the car in front. And there's one thing getting a toe on your fast lap, there's another thing being in that dirty air. It's going to cost you time, and of course it's going to make braking harder. Here we go, about to start his fast lap, Josh. Currently on a 1:31.9. Got the Alpine of Ben just in front, so got to be careful here. Ben is on a fast lap, so I mean that's Josh's lap probably over there. Ben inadvertently there causing a bit of trouble for Josh. I say inadvertently because I think, you know, Ben is entitled to go at his pace. He is on a fast lap. Josh is just going to reset there. It's up to Lewis, who's in sector 1. I'm not sure if this is going to be his in lap. We'll see what sort of pace he's going around sector 1. Yeah, he's about even with his time, so yeah, this is probably his fast lap. Just keeping an eye out for when Paddy starts his fast lap. We'll get on board with him. You see 3 of the top 4 in the pits. I'll be leaving it as late as possible. Lewis using all of his ERS here. Nicely done. Let's see. Oh no, he's decided to pull out there. He's coming into the pits. I think it's so he gives himself enough time to go again. And whereabouts is Paddy in the RB then? Okay, so he's just at the start of sector 3. We'll stick with Paddy while everybody comes out. Obviously, runner-up last season, calling the People's Champion. He oh, a little kiss on the wall there. He did have a lot of momentum, and he was unfortunate not to win the title at Silverstone, but I will say he put a great effort in. He was the fans' favourite. No disrespect to Tim. Tim was a machine. He's an absolute beast. I think because Paddy was the underdog throughout the season, I think that's why, you know, that's why I'd say he's the, you know, the people's champ. And that's a purple sector 1 there. 1.5 tenths up already. Oh, I mean, he's rallied it round that corner. Sideways on. And a kiss on the wall. Not going to do him any favours there. We'll see what sort of time at the end of sector 2, because as I mentioned before, very low grip around here because of the way you set up your car. You basically set up your car for this straight here, and straight after the chicanes, and it makes, as I said, it makes braking and cornering so much more difficult. I mean, if he's quick, he could have bought his lap here, come into the pits and maybe get out again. It's going to be tight. We'll see what he does. No, he stayed out and put in a 1:32. It's an improvement, but it's not by a lot, and it's still only good enough for 9th position. Got Reese on a fast lap. Very awkward. You see lots of micro adjustments here in the steering, not just from Reese, but in general. Oh, that wasn't the greatest corner I've seen there from Reese. Currently in 2nd position. He's decided he's backing out here. As you see, he's warming tyres. He's going to go again. Gagli has just started his fast lap, so get on board there. Oh, and again with the Alpine. I think Gagli slightly lost control of his car there. But the Alpine coming out of the pits as that's Gagli's qualifying over for sure. Here comes Verpe in 4th position still with that time that he set very early on. The first lap actually. He slowed right down there, so that's going to be his qualifying over 2. Here's our current provisional pole sitter Tim starting his fast lap. Let's see, is he going to improve? Is he going to manage to go faster? King Panda's decided to call it a day there. Fishy Flopper has seen the checkered flag, so has Craig and Ben. I'm not sure what Ben was doing coming out of the pits there so late on in the session. That's the confusing thing for me. Even though I think Gagli did oversteer slightly going around the corner, I don't think that, that doesn't excuse the fact that Ben did, or at least it looked like Gagli oversteered. It doesn't excuse the fact that Ben's coming out to do an outlap with like 30 seconds to go in the session. Yeah, it's a weird one, that. I'm sure post race we'll see an investigation into that. Govey not having a best of times here with a 1:38. Oh, and that's an invalidation from Tim. So that will be qualifying over unless Paddy can put in. No, he's 2 tenths down. So it's going to be Tim on pole position to start the season off, followed by Reese on the front row. Tim scoring the first point of the season, of course, as well. Josh and Gagli on the 2nd row, followed by Verpe and Fishy Flopper. Lewis in 7th with King Panda. Then we have Paddy and Ice One on the 5th row of the grid, followed by Craig, Ace, Govey and Ben there in 14th position. So that is going to be the grid. That's going to be the starting grid for the race. 25 laps, I believe, here at Las Vegas. I imagine we're going to see plenty of incidents if qualifying's anything to go by. Very, very close at the front, by the way. Just 300ths in it. The grid has ended up being quite close in the end. A good 8 drivers there going sub 1:32, and then you've got Paddy that's on a 1:32 dead as well. So going to be a lot of competition for podium places here tonight. Here we go then. I didn't mention the weather. I assume that it's going to be dry. It's Las Vegas, isn't it? Everyone's just sorting their pit strategy out for the race, and of course their fuel loads and what tyres they're going to start on and then go on after they've pitted in. Still waiting on everyone to sort themselves out for the race, of course. Here we go, formation lap underway. Already we've got two cars back on the grid. This is the calm before the storm. And the 10 car length is possible strategies. Looking at, I'd say we're looking at the one stopper there. I don't think the two stoppers, unless we see a safety car, which I think is pretty likely tonight, given what we've seen in quali. Let's have a look at the tyres. So mostly medium runners, just two on the hard tyres, which is Paddy, who's probably out of position in ninth. So yeah, Paddy on the hard compound, going to try and overcut really, and Josh in third, gone on the hard tyres in the McLaren too. So not too different in terms of strategies from everyone. I say just the two there, not on the mediums. We're of course looking out, making sure nobody goes into AI mode. That will be an automatic 10-second penalty this season, just to remind everyone. Everybody getting as much heat into those tyres for the start. A lack of grip is not going to be what you want here. You can see the two guys at the back of the grid. Didn't manage to get round. That wasn't AI there, by the way, between King Panda and I assume Fishy in front. Craig just overshooting, and here we go. The lights are out, and we're underway, and it's a good start from Tim. Reese having a decent start there. Let's see if everyone can get through. Oh, we've got a Ferrari there. That's Ace right at the back there. Is he going to manage to? Is he going to keep going? Just about. Back to the front. So we've got the Red Bull of Tim at the front still. There's a big incident there. Verpe going through, and then you can see those four guys from fourth, 5th, 6th and 7th all together. Verpe down to 7th now. As we see everybody around this corner. Ace definitely taking big damage there early on. Struggling to keep the car in a straight line right now. That's a massively unlucky start to the season. As you see, this top three of Tim, Rees and Gagley already 1.4 seconds in front as Gagley looks to go through on Rees here. Yeah, and he does. And that's even without DRS. As you see, this straight, very, very important. As Fishy Flopper side by side with Josh. I think Flopper's just about going to get through here. Yeah, he's just about kept it in front. That's well done. It's a nice manoeuvre. 10 seconds for Ace for corner cutting. Probably just going to try and get back to the pits. Doesn't want to cause a safety car. And Gagley there, fastest around for just the first lap though. Nice overtake as Lewis and Josh side by side. And Lewis has got the inside line, as you can see. As Gagley now going through on Tim. Yeah, Tim down into second position. Should really stick with these at the front right now. Although there's a lot of action happening, as you can see. Berkeley trying to get on the back. There's a top three, and then there's quite a large gap already of 2 seconds. And then there's quite a large DRS train behind those guys. So we've got two people in the pits right now. That's Govey and Ace, both sustaining damage, I believe, on lap 1. So here we go. This is where Gagley's looking really quick, but he's going to be caught up. And you see Rees trying to slingshot himself through there on Tim, not able to, but Gagley loses out. Tim goes through into first position. The DRS working wonders there. Josh losing 2 places down to 7th position. That straight it's such an important part of this circuit. As Rees now puts in the fastest lap. So start of lap 3. This front 3 here, we're right on board with Rees. I like doing that, riding on board with the 3rd place when there's 2 in front. You get to see all the action. And yeah, 3 seconds now, the gap between Rees and Lewis. These guys are absolutely flying. Don't know if Lewis is holding up the pack a little bit here. Let's just have a look. So there's Lewis and everybody behind him with DRS, but not so close. Josh was almost out of DRS from Verpay, so yeah, it's all to play for though. Still very early, as you see there, perfectly the gap. No safety car as yet, which is obviously it's a good thing. So let's see how Gagley responds this lap. Obviously there is actually a disadvantage in being first position here. Rees will close the gap again, getting the slipstream. Gagley's going to get boxed in here. 3 wide. Rees has he's pulled out of that. He's decided it's not worth the risk. Probably the right thing to do. And Gagley goes through on Tim. They were 3 wide there for a second. And Gagley's managed to pull away 7/10 here. Difficult. It's going to be difficult for him to gap. You know, Tim and Rees very, very quick. We've got a caution in sector 3. We've got a McLaren in the wall. And that's Craig, as you can see. He's still going though. And might not have damage. Rees going through here on Tim. As you can see behind there, Verpay going through on Fishy Flopper. Needs to try and close that gap by a few tenths on Lewis just to get DRS. Stick with the with these guys for a quick minute here. Josh, oh, really, really close. Oh, and I think Josh might have taken Fishy Flopper out there. Looks like he rear-ended him, just pushed him into the wall. Not the cleanest overtake I've ever seen, that's for sure. And now a big gap between Josh and Verpay. Paddy has a chance here to take 6th position from Josh. Reese goes through on Gagley for first position. Get back up to that in a second. We're going to stick with these guys. So the gap, actually, Josh looks quicker down this straight. Yeah, look pretty quick there, Josh. To be fair, down the straight. Back up to the front then. So we have Reese in first position from Gagley, Tim in third. And we have a 3.7 second gap between this top three and Lewis in fourth. So these guys really pulling away. Three of the fastest drivers from last season too, as Paddy does go through into sixth position eventually there, as Tim's just dropped back to 6/10 behind. It's not too big of a gap really. He's still within DRS, which is the most important thing. And yeah, Fishy Flopper down to 11th there. That was we'll probably see something said about that after the race. First race of the season. It can be like that sometimes, you know. Everyone being a little bit over competitive in terms of trying to make the pass. 3 seconds there for Ace for multiple track limit warnings, which is impressive on a street circuit. And here we go, this top three then. You see Tim having a look at if he can get through on Gagley. That's nicely done there from Reese. Actually, well defended. Gagley right on the back. He's going to look to try and pass. Is he going to get through? He used the slipstream to his advantage. He's got the inside line. Side by side, and I think Gagley's just got through. Yeah, he has. He's passed. And still side by side. I think Gagley, with that inside line, is going to have the advantage here. Yep, Reese has just had to back off into second position. But that's really well done from Gagley, and not in a spot on the track where you would expect the overtake there. I think that's going to that might put a few doubts into both Reese and Tim's heads. Seeing Gagley overtake there right at the end of the lap, so that could be something to watch out for. Could be something interesting. And we have our first safety car of the season, as Jovi has decided to not finish the race, a DNF there. So first safety car, 6 laps in. Is it too early to switch to the hard tyres? As I mentioned, very high tyre degradation around here. Chance for me to have a little drink there and refresh myself. Just keep an eye out, make sure there's no AIs. That is something we need to focus on. We don't want any dodgy business going on. The rules are there for a reason. So Gagley has decided to pit in, as has Reese and Tim. Looks like the hard tyres are going on, so they are going to at least attempt to make these hard tyres last. Quite surprised. Maybe we'll see another safety car later on in the race and able to change tyres again. There is the safety car, as you can see. The red Mercedes we've got tonight. And is that an AI that I saw there? Possibly. So I think this safety car will be out for a couple of laps, just while everybody gets to the back of the pack and lines up. probably going to make for a dangerous restart as well. The old cliche, one safety car. Well, they'll make more safety cars because everyone being aggressive off the restart. Let's check and make sure we see the tyres there. Yeah, everyone's changed. Paddy and Fishy Flopper here. Also Josh on medium tyres. It's going to be a long stint for those mediums. That's going to be difficult for them. Not convinced that the mediums are going to make it the full way. Ice One and Panda having a bit of a battle here. They need just be careful. We are under safety car conditions. Don't want anyone getting unnecessary penalties. Back up to the front then, as we're just watching these guys warm the tyres up behind the safety car. They do have 10 car lengths, so I think I mentioned this last season, they don't need to overly push at this stage. It would be a mistake to get too close to the guy in front, and then of course you would you could end up in the back of the car in front, getting wing damage and having to pit in once again. We don't want to see that. So a couple of times last season, hopefully we can avoid that sort of thing this season. As Craig has a 10-second penalty, I assume, for corner cutting, although possibly ignoring yellows. Didn't see it. I'm not going to lie, I did not see that come up. You see there again, King Panda and Ice One both very, very close to each other, basically side by side. It's not really necessary. Still a long way to go in this lap. You see Reese just hanging back a little bit, and Tim also doing the correct thing. You know, there's no need to get too close. Can't be overstated. You've got to stay within 10 car lengths. That doesn't mean that you've got to be right up behind the car in front. Use that distance to your advantage, and then obviously get close towards the end of the lap when it's announced the safety car's coming in, which maybe this lap, maybe not. We'll find out very soon. Might go for another one. Ben overtaking Josh under safety car conditions. Ben has gone AI, I'm afraid. Well, I'm not afraid, I'm not scared, but you know what I mean. So that will be a 10-second penalty. Again, that is something that we're implementing, and we're being very stringent about this season. It's not using AI at any point. Of course, if you're disconnected and that's unavoidable while you're reconnecting. The safety car stayed out for another lap, by the way, so we can talk about this. So yeah, if it's a disconnect, then there's nothing that anyone can do about it. But all of the circumstances, I'm afraid you're getting an automatic 10-second penalty. I don't know about if somebody's got a sneeze coming along and they just momentarily do it, but rules are rules and they're there for a reason, I guess. So don't go AI, basically. I would imagine the safety car's going to come in this lap. This is the third lap, but don't normally see safety cars out for longer than 3. It's rare that they're out longer than 2 laps on this game, so we'll have to see. Reese now looking to position himself. Yep, safety car in this lap, so about to get the restart. Let's see what Gagley does here. I'm assuming, yeah, he's back in the pack right up as much as possible to give himself as much space as he can when the safety car comes in. The safety car just coming into the pits. But until it's actually in, there will be he won't be accelerating away. So he's still warming the tyres. And there we go. This is going to go. He's got to the start-finish line, so he can leave it as late as possible. And he's gone now. And that's a decent restart. Verpe's been caught out there. As Paddy looks to go round the outside. And Verpe's in the wall. And is that a DNF? No, he's still going. But that is wing damage. And you can see his wing there embedded into the wall. Paddy up to 4th. As I mentioned, the safety car restart is always eventful. Oh, a kiss on the wall there. I think that's from Ice One. Yeah, always eventful, just because you get everyone really bunched up and trying to hold their position whilst also attacking. So very, very likely something's going to happen. Verpe's going to have to pit in and change that wing. Not going to be happy. He's been in the chat today, well, this evening. Not happy with qualifying, to be honest. So that's not going to help his mood any. As already we have an 8-9 gap between Tim and Paddy. You see in the background Lewis going through on Josh there. We've got an Aston Martin in 1st and an Aston Martin in 7th. Red Bull in 3rd and in 6th. So those 2 teams I did mention. I did say they're going to be the strong ones, or the stronger of the teams this season. At least I expect. They're doing quite well so far. The DRS has been enabled. And we'll see. So Verpe's coming in, is retired from the session. Ace is going to pit in with damage, and he's going to keep going. As you can see, changing that front wing. Takes a little while. And then off he goes. So back to the front. And Paddy managing just to stay there, close the gap a little bit. Only half a second down now, so that'll be good for him. Paddy's in a good position here. Gagley's had a really good start, to be fair. Reese manages obviously to close the gap just because of that straight and what we've spoken about before, but Gagley managed to stay in front, and that's quite interesting. Gap now between the top 4 and Ice One, 2.5 seconds. So these 4 guys pulling away. Now 3 seconds. It's Lewis who's managed to get through on Ice One. 3 seconds the gap. So this top 4 is really putting the pressure on everyone else. Paddy now just dropping out of DRS from Tim. These front three have been rapid, to be fair, throughout qualifying and the whole of this race. But that's a 3-second time penalty for Reese. Could be massive given how close these guys are running to each other. Goes through into first position on track. Yeah, that 3 seconds, I think, come the end of the race, could be very important. Tim now very close to Gagley too. Tim in that awkward third spot in the DRS train there. It's difficult because you're normally too far back to take first position, and you're not going to take the guy in front of you because your DRS has been negated by his. I think Gagley looks good. He looks pretty good at the minute, doesn't he? He's looking like the favourite. He does look very under control. He looks very calm, and the fact that he doesn't have to rely on the DRS to overtake, I think it could be that could be a massive advantage for him as we go down the long straight, start of sector 3, and you see Gagley go through, and there you see the problem that Tim does have. It's very difficult to close the gap being in third position. I think in terms of that time penalty that Reese has, if there's not another safety car, I mean, a lot could happen between now and the end of the race. We've still got 12 racing laps to go. But if we don't see another safety car, I think they'll quite easily make more of a 3-second gap, this top three, to the rest. So at worst, with that, he'd probably finish third. But on track, he's got a chance of finishing first and then getting knocked down to third. Is not really. It's going to be demoralising. You see the gap already over 3 seconds between Tim and Paddy. We're going to stick on board with Tim for as long as necessary. We're getting a good view of the action in front. Just ever so slightly slow out of the left-hander there, Tim. And that's cost him as Reese goes through on Gagley. You might see some strategic holding back towards the end of the race. Ooh, and Gagley didn't have the best corner there going into the chicane, and that's gave Tim a really good chance. He's closed the gap. Reese is now the fastest on track. Gagley dropped down to a second. If Reese gaps these two and these two start fighting, maybe Reese is not out of it yet. Gagley managing to close the gap right now, though. See, if you look at the steering wheel of Tim, you see the yellow bar in the middle of his steering wheel. That's his ERS, and he's keeping that as full as possible. I think he's just going to use that late on. It does refill every couple of laps. If you use it, it takes a lap or two just to gain that back. So I don't see the benefit of having it at 100%. I think if you're gonna stick your ERS at any point, have it at about 80%. If you've got it at 100%, you can't recharge it anymore. It's at 100, it's full. So around 80, I think, is ideal. That's struggling there, Tim. See the chicane, just as Gagley did on the last lap. 8/10 down, drop back a little bit. Although as these two in front battle, probably be able to catch up. 5.4, well, almost 5.5 seconds now the gap to Paddy, who's 2 seconds in front of Lewis himself, so he's having a good time. Gagley now going to make the move through the first DRS sector, and does so quite easily. Reese trying to come back here, and he's going to... No, he's not going to make a pass. He's not going to try and make the move. Oh, and he's hit the back of Gagley there. Has he damaged his wing? Wasn't the biggest of touches. Oh, is that the front left end plate? Difficult. I think he might be all right. I think he's just about all right here. Let's get on board and then look back. Yeah, I don't think Reese took any damage there, and I don't think there was anything malicious in that incident from either driver. As Tim has took advantage though, gone through to second place. Maybe Reese is carrying damage. It doesn't look like it. Difficult to say, obviously. These quick camera changes are trying to... Looks like his front wing's intact. He stayed out. He's not pitted in anyway, so if that's any indicator. And Tim now going through into first position. Gonna go wide though, and Gagley retakes first. Real battle on now. Reese has closed the gap back up again, so I'm going to assume no damage, which is good. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see races decided on, you know, whether someone's got damage on the front wing or not. Not pure racing, and this is what this front three has given us. Lewis goes through on Josh for 5th position. Well, this front three here have definitely entertained us tonight so far, both in qualifying and now in the race. As I say, credit to Paddy. A poor qualifying session, I'm sure he'll admit that himself, but managed to get it up to 4th position. Gagley to have cleared his head after qualifying, after those 2 incidents in qualifying with Ben. I mean, the first one, it's not good, is it? I think the second one's worse, just because you know, there's 30-ish seconds to go in qualifying, and Ben's coming out of the pits. I think that's a bit ridiculous. He is debuting tonight, Ben, so in that respect I give him the benefit of the doubt, but I think it's quite obvious he shouldn't be doing that. And so for him to have been through those incidents in qualifying and managed to refocus and go again, he's having a really good race. As Josh is down to 8th position. I think he's pitted in yet, and I think Flopper's pitted in as well. They'll be on the medium tyres. Yeah, those mediums not doing well. Paddy is on the mediums too. That could be as he's 9 seconds behind, so that could be not a race ender in terms of a DNF, but any possible high finish. Panda could be struggling now. Paddy, apologies, could be struggling now. But we'll see. Still plenty of time to go. Lap 18 of 25. Something got smashed in the background there. Probably the brake board or the sponsor board. Just checking front wings, making sure No one's damaged. As Reese is going to try and make a move on Gagley. If he does, Gagley's gone round the outside. It's Tim that looks like he's going to miss out here. Yep, Reese has managed to actually bypass them both there. Back up into first position. Phenomenal effort there from Reese. 3 wide, and they were all very, very clean too. So I think everybody else on the grid should watch this race and watch these 3 and how clean they've been. I'm not saying anyone else has been dirty. I'm not judging at all. I'm just saying that if you want to see 3 guys just racing really hard but really clean, these are the guys you need to watch. We've got a McLaren, a back marker there being passed. That will be Craig, I imagine. He gets a 3-second penalty for corner cutting. He went you see, he went see-through there. That's not because he went AI. That's because he was being lapped. What it does basically is, let's use Ace as an example. If it was running 12, if these 3 were coming to pass Ace, and Ace didn't go see-through, then Ace could just brake check like Gagley and Tim, and then give Reese an advantage. As it is, it stops that happening. As Gagley does go through into first position, Tim now just over a second behind. We have seen that before, though. He's managed to close the gap beforehand, so let's see if you can do it again. Crucial stage of the race, though. Not a great time to drop off. He is now 1.3 behind. He's struggling a little bit. His tyres will not be in great condition either. Now 1.4 the gap. And Reese might have a chance of an actual second position here if he carries on like this. And he passes Gagley through the first DRS sector and takes the lead of the race. Gagley looking to make that very temporary, but not quite managing it. And Tim closes the gap as those 2 in front were battling. Back into DRS and back in with a massive shout of winning this race. Let's get back on board again with Tim. I know we've not seen too much of the other drivers, and Gagley going through nice and early there. Moves across just to block off the line. But we've not seen too much of the other drivers, but that's because this battle has been, the whole race has been absolutely phenomenal from these guys. And Reese does manage to get through. I think maybe Gagley overtook a little bit too early there. We've got Reese, Gagley and Tim all together. You could throw a handkerchief over these 3, they're that close. Gagley having a look. He's having a look to see if the pass is on. It's not right now. DRS coming up. We've seen quite a few overtakes in this DRS sector of the track. And Tim now. Tim was just. He wasn't weaving there, Tim. He's not like he's defending a line from anyone anyway. He's just having a look to see if the move was on or not, which it wasn't. So we're staying in third position. I think the advantage you have if you are Gagley or Tim right now is you're going to finish in front of Reese as long as you stay within 3 seconds. So not a great exit there from Gagley, and a really good exit from Tim, which has actually hindered him because he's had to slow right down there to avoid a collision. Great reflexes from Tim. You will have DRS, so it's not the end of the world as Gagley goes through. Gagley, he cuts across to the left and then widens it out there, using all the track. But yeah, Gagley's rough left-hander hindered Tim inadvertently there. Well, as I mentioned, that was really good reflexes from Tim. Not to go into the back of Gagley. As Ace gets a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. He knows though, Josh with 3 seconds now, 6 total. That puts Fishy Flopper into 7th position. Ace knows as long as he finishes, he scores decent points. As I mentioned before the race, we have a slightly different point system this season. Very close to the wall there. Both Gagley and Tim using absolutely every millimetre possible of the track. There we go again. Hopefully, see Tim not going over the curb there. He went slightly wider. Give himself a slightly better exit. Reese unable to pass, or is this now an intentional? As I think I mentioned before, we could see some tactics coming into play here, where you don't want to overtake the guy in front until the last lap. I'm of the mindset that if the overtake's on, then you have to do it. As unfortunately Ace is out of the race, and no safety car so far. No, we're not going to see a safety car very late now in the race for one. As Reese goes down the inside, that's a lovely pass. That a really good pass. Paddy down into 6th now, really struggling on those tyres, on those mediums. That 23 of 25 though, he's probably going to have enough to finish in 6th, which would be a good finish considering his qualifying wasn't the greatest. Tim slowing down really early, not trusting his tyres now, and I don't blame him really. He's had a good exit here. He's definitely got a bit of slipstream on Gagley. The gap's there. He's looking. He's going to get through on Reese. Reese is now down to 3rd position. Tim up to 2nd. Gagley up to 1st. And almost on lap 24 of 25. So we're going to have 2 racing laps left. And pick a winner out of these 3. Good luck with that. As now Tim making the move through turn 1. Oh, and a slight touch from Gagley on Reese as Reese tried to take advantage and go down the inside as well. Just drop back slightly, Reese there, but he will be able to close this gap with DRS. So it's not the end of the world for him there. It was just a slight kiss on the front right of Reese. Not too bad though, not too bad. I understand he was looking to see if the gap was there. He wasn't quite there. No harm, no foul. And yeah, here we go then. As, we've got Tim in the lead. He was sat there patiently in 3rd position for quite a while really, after the safety car restart. But he's made his move. He's in 1st position now. Let's see how they traverse the rest of this race. I think Reese has just dropped back slightly. We've got caution in sector 2. I don't know why. It's a Haas. So, I mean, that's Fishy Flopper, but it doesn't look like anything's happened there. Tim has managed to stay in front. And that's quite impressive. And very difficult. Got to be careful. No incidents on the last lap. We want a clean finish. You see, he's still got full ERS. Surely he's going to blast through that. But Gagley's gone through. Tim's ran really wide there. As you see, down to third. That is a crucial mistake there, and it's on the last lap of the race, unbelievably. And it's not a mistake you see often from Tim. Still well within range and got a chance here, but so unlucky. I'm sure those tyres are very much dead. So that's not surprising, but yeah, it's unlucky that it's happened to him there on turn one of the last lap. But here we go. They're coming down to the left-hander before the fastest section. Reese giving no quarter here. Is he going to look on the inside and try and make a move? He has, and they've both gone into the wall. Oh my word. Reese has gone through. Gagley's down into third, definitely damaged there. Tim's up into second. I think Tim did well to avoid anything there. I think the pass might have been on. I'm not sure. Was the pass on? That's massively unlucky. As Tim goes through into first place, Gagley's not going to give that place up second very easily now. And as you can see, side by side, they're quite literally pushing each other now. Looks like Tim is going to take the race win though. He comes over the line. Here he comes for first position. Gagley's going to get second. Reese gets third. And Lewis, fourth position. A really good drive there from the Aston Martins. Second and fourth. Unlucky not to be first, maybe in fourth. We'll have to watch that incident back and see what happens. King Panda in fifth. Paddy sixth. Josh gets seventh. Oh no, he doesn't. He gets eighth because of the time penalties. Fishy Flopper gets seventh. Here comes Ice One. He's going to finish in ninth position. As he... We've got Craig has finished in 11th. He's a lap down. Ice One has finished. There we go. So there we go. What a race. What a final lap. Lots of incidents throughout. I don't know what happened there with Gagley and Reese. I don't think Tim did anything there. He again, on that same corner, Tim did exceptionally well not to be drawn into that. So I mean, Reese, he went down the inside, and I can understand it from that point of view. And there was the coming together. I don't know. We're going to have to see it from various angles there. But congratulations to Tim on his race win, first race of the season. So I'm sure he's delighted with that. Gagley with a good second position anyway. Reese on the podium third with the fast lap 2. Lewis fourth, King Panda fifth, Paddy sixth. Again, a good race there, both from King Panda and Paddy, and also Lewis. You can see those three all making good positions up. And then we've got Fishy Flopper, Josh, Ice One, Ben, Craig, and then Ace, Verpe, and Govey. And so there we go. That's the race finished. Lots of talking points. What an opener! What a season opener! Incredible scenes, and good luck sorting that out for the stewards. We're gonna see, I think, some incidents being reported after this race. But GG's to everyone. Made it exciting for us to watch, of course. And always a pleasure to commentate on this great league here, NOMEX Racing. And next week we will be, as I mentioned before, we're going to be from Portugal. Another track you don't see very often. Actually, one of my personal favourite tracks. It's not really a massively popular one with drivers, but I love the place. I think it's one of my favourite tracks. Yeah. And but yeah, we'll see you all next week for the Portuguese Grand Prix. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, what little there is of it left. Enjoy your week, and we'll see you next Sunday.